Okay, so I'm going to go over the 2017 NLE National Latin Exam Level 1. And obviously, as is always the case, I'm going to be embedding 3 items as I go through that you can obviously then use to have an easy 100. And actually, it's going to be 4 items because I'm going to translate the passage again. So, number 1, fablam latinam heri. Heri is the word for yesterday. That is what you have there. So it's the answer of just knowing the definition. Today would be hodie. Tomorrow is cross. And remember that semper would be always. Ludus imperam teatro spectare poteratis. We see this again. It's nothing more than the verb sum esse with a pot on the front. So not just to be, but to be able. And as you know, the imperfect of the verb to be is eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratis. So y'all were able to watch. And so here, you were able to watch as your answer. They would never use on the National Latin Exam the word y'all because it is a National Latin Exam and that's a Southern expression. So they just say you as in you plural. In English, you singular and you plural are identical. Nulle te clamare. Remember, this is a negative command. Don't shout. And so therefore your answer here is B. That should be easy, straightforward. Et, meaning both and. You know that one et means and, but when you have 2 ets, et, both and, neither nor would be neque, neque. Either or would be out, A-U-T, A-U-T. So here it is, both and, letter B is your answer. The woman declares, return to me my money. And thus she must be talking directly to the person who is the merchant here. And so we would have to look for the vocative. Remember, the vocative is almost always going to be the same as the nominative. Short is is genitive. Em is accusative. Ibis is dative or ablative. And then mercator is what we're looking for there in the vocative direct address. Pro libertate, number 6, is for or on behalf of liberty, not against. That would be anti or contra. In spite of, I wouldn't even know the word for that. Sine is without, and so for or on behalf of freedom or liberty. Ego, et tu, I and you. Anytime you add ego to a subject, the subject as a whole becomes we. And so here it's going to need the mus that one sees on habemus, I and you, equal a we. Cupisne, the National Latin Exam loves the verb cupio, cupere, cupivi, cupitus, meaning to want or desire. And indeed, so cupisne, remember the ne is going to be asking the question. You is your subject, as you see from the S, so you want. Or do you want? And so here, do you want is what you would have as your answer there. Not why, that would be cur. And so, do you want to eat dinner with me tomorrow? And that's your first word, cupisne. The whole thing, C-U-P-I-S-N-E for your quiz. Legio Romana, the Roman legion, was seeing multos hostes, many hostiles, prope urbim. What word does multos modify? Well, multos is going to be modifying something of the same case, number, and gender. It is accusative plural, and look at hostes also as accusative plural, and so therefore that's going to be your answer there. Remember, for an adjective to modify a noun, it has to have the same case, same numbers, same gender. Number 10, rex, another word that the National Latin Exam loves to use. Rex regis, meaning king. So the king, deorum, another word that the National Latin Exam loves to use, deus, meaning God. Here it's the genitive plural. King of the gods is strong. So, or powerful, I suppose. And so your answer here is D as in dog. The king of the gods is powerful. My sister is mala. Mala is evil, bad. She beat me. She was beating me. And here, what makes sense is that the liber, the book, is going to be in the ablative case because it is with what? The instrument. And so your answer here is libro. Number 11 is a bit of a hard one, but nevertheless, look at the context and see if you can't figure out what is needed as far as the case of a particular word in a situation like this. Scribo. Scribo is just simply, I write. And so there it is. I am writing. I write, I am writing, I do write. Scribo, scribere. Sex discipuli ad sunt. Remember that sum esse plus ad means to be at a particular place, i.e. present. And so 6 students are present, said quatuor discipuli, but 4 students discadunt. They go away. So 6 minus 4. Now, blank discipuli remain. The answer here is duo. We'll be going over our numbers right at the beginning of the first week of NLE practice. Quid faciebatis. Remember, the quid means what? And the faciebatis has a BA. So what were y'all doing? And again, they don't use y'all on the NLE. They say you. So what were you doing? And so therefore, your translation, due to the fact that faciebatis is the imperfect, Number 15, ad urbem, to the city, toward the city, at the city. And there your answer, to the city. Through the city would use per. By the city would be prope, and away from the city would be a-b, or just a long a. Skiwisti, you see the V of the perfect stem, V sucks plus the perfect ending isti, isti it. And you translate the perfect tense as the subject verbed, did verb, have verbed. And so here, isti, you knew, you did know, you have known. And so here, you knew. There it is. You knew how. All the answers have how in it. And so this actually is your second word that you'll be putting in for the quiz, skiwisti. Number 17, quote. We've seen this on previous NLEs. How many? Like a quota. So how many dogs did he see? Here, weed with the long eyes, the perfect stem with isti it. If it were present he sees, it'd be V short ID et. So how many dogs did he see? Quote is what they're testing you on here. And how many see? What sort of dogs would be quales? When would be quando? And where would be ubi? Number 18, cum diligentia laborabo. I will work with diligence. And so what is the question answering? It's not answering what will you work. It's not asking or answering why will you work. It's not asking or answering where will you work, but quo modo. That's how. And so that answers how with diligence, your ablative of manner. Many stories. We hold memoria, ablative case, by, with, because of, from, in, on, at, in memory. So we hold in memory would be the equivalency of we remember. Number 20, ubi est Brundisium in carta geographia. Remember that Brundisium, here's Rome, right here in the middle of Rome, or Italy, I should say. It has the Appian Way, go all the way from Rome down to Brundisium on the heel of the boot, from which you would set sail as a port city if you were on your way to Greece over here. So the answer is going to be 3. Number 21, what city is due north of Sicily? Right north of Sicily. So Sicily, right here, that is the football that Italy is kicking. Right north of Sicily, boom, you run into the city of Rome itself. So Rome is located right here. Athens, remember, is over here in Greece. That's where the number 4 is. Carthage is number 2 in northern Africa. And Troy is way over here in modern-day Turkey on the Hellespont. Quid est animal? What is the animal? It is parum, small, and it lives often in a house. That should be the one that gives it away. It has novem, vitas, 9 lives, vita vitae. An elephant does not live in a house. A horse does not live in a house. A fish usually does not live in a house, but a feles, a cat, does. Number 23, the picture on the right shows the curia in Rome. Remember, the curia is the Senate House. And so Senate meetings would go on. Gladiatorial training, amphitheatrum, an amphitheater. Public bathing would be the thermae that you've seen on previous NLEs. Number 24, when you receive $100 a day for expenses, you were receiving a per diem per day. Pro bono means for the good. Ad hominem means at a particular man. And in toto means totally or in the whole. Number 25, what child, whose name may derive from the Latin word for slave, seemed destined to be king when a flame danced above his head? We'll look for a word that looks like slave, not Romulus, the first king, not Numa Pompilius, the second king, but Servius Tullius, the 6th king of Rome, and not Tarquinius Superbus, the 7th king, but Servius is the one that obviously gives it away. Number 26, what part of your body do you use to carry out the actions of correre, to run, and ambulare, to walk, and stare? Well, you don't use your head, caput, that means head. Oculi, of course, are eyes. Manus is hand. Pedes is your answer here. It is your feet, as it were. What room of the Roman house is seen in the picture? Well, they're all reclining on couches, and they seem to be eating. So it would not be a cubiculum, a bedroom. It would not be the culina, a kitchen, but not a peristylium, a peristyle, or open colonnaded garden, but a triclinium. That is the triclinium, the dining room. And that's your 3rd item for the quiz. What god is associated with the stories of Orpheus, Proserpina, and Cerberus? That would be, of course, Pluto, who abducted Proserpina and has the guard dog of the underworld. He is the god of the underworld. Number 29, what do you need to tell? What do you need to tell your teacher? Necesse est mihi ire ad latrinam. It is necessary for me to go to the bathroom. And so it would be a bathroom trip. The letter was illegible, meaning that it was not able to be read. Legere, to read. So we've had your 3 items so far. Now let's read the passage and get the 4th one. I'm just going to blast through it really quickly and hopefully leave this video at about 12 minutes. Felix was an unlucky boy. His father had died Inuria, injury, by, with, because of, from, in, on, at. You see the ablative there. Now, Felix is the paterfamilias, the head of the household, and the funeral is necessary to give to his father. And so it is necessary to give a funeral to his father. Patri, a third declension dative, variant isi, eme, super, above the body, corpus, of his dead father. He says, he calls the name of his father, quasi, over here, it gives it to you the right-hand side, use the vocab they give to you, as if he was calling his father back, revocabit, to life, ad vitam. They love the word vita vitae as life. The opens the eyes of the father, and he washes the corpus, the body, with water, aqua. Felix makes a wax mask of his father. Remember, on the NLE, short is is genitive, singular. The father wears a tunica and a toga, and he lies on a funeral couch in the atrium. This is the main room of the Roman house. Again, use the stuff on the right-hand side to your advantage. Felix places a numum, a coin, in between the teeth, inter dentes, of his father. Again, short is is genitive of. In exchange for, or for, the coin, Charon, he, the ferryman, the boatman of the underworld, he will carry the father trans flumen stigim across the river Styx. Tomorrow will be ero, eris, erit, erimis, eritis, erunt. Remember, is the future of the verb to be, not on the 2021 NLE, but in the future. You have to know, pun intended, that the future of the verb to be is ero, eris, erit, with eyes, E-R-I. A funeral procession. Actors will carry, again, BI, as you see there, is going to be future, not on the 2021, but in the future NLEs. Make sure you're aware of the future tense. BI for regular verbs, and ero, eris, erit for verbs to be. So actors will be wearing wax masks of his ancestors, and in the funeral procession, there will be ero, eris, erit, erimis, eritis, erunt, family and men who will be remember that Romans don't make them say int, they make them say unt, men who will sing and will play conent with ablative instruments. For long times, Felix will be, future of the verb to be, ero, eris, erit, I will be, you will be, he will be. Felix will be unhappy. Felix will wear the pulla toga, the dark toga, the toga of mourning. Felix, he will honor, CBI for the future that is there, he will honor his dead father with devotion, privately and publicly. And your fourth and final word is corpus, the word for body that you will often see in the NLE. Thanks for watching. Do well on the NLE. Study.